Good morning, guys. I wanted to talk about something this morning that I hear some buyers contemplating every once in a while when they're looking at houses to buy. And they're kind of comparing their options and thinking, I could have bought one of these houses a couple years ago for a few $1,000s less in the exact same condition. So it kind of seems like I'm not really getting a good deal on a home. And maybe I want to wait a couple years until home values depreciate a little bit, or even until the market crashes and I can get a better deal on a house. But at this time, we're not really sure how long you would be waiting to see that happen in our market. We're still expecting home values to appreciate over the next couple years, roughly from anywhere from 2 to 4%. So let's do a little bit of a comparison on if you buy a house today versus if you buy a house in 2 years from now. And I'm just using rough numbers. Let's say you buy a house today for $200,000 and in 2 years you sell it for about $212,000 because you want to live in it for a couple years and then you want to buy, maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer of a home. So you're going to be making that $12,000 at the time of that sale in 2 years, but also you're going to be getting some of your equity back out of the home that you've been paying on for the last 2 years. So let's say that you get a loan at a 4.35% interest. You're only going to be building equity on the principal amount of the loan that you pay down. So over 2 years, you're going to be roughly paying about $6,700 to $6,800 in principal, which you'll get at the time of that sale in 2 years as well. So you'll get the $12,000 plus the $6,700. So you're going to be getting about $18,700 out of that home in 2 years, which then you can use as your down payment on that next house that you buy in 2 years. Now, let's say you wait 2 years, you don't buy a house at all, you just rent over the next 2 years, and you're paying $1,500 a month in rent. So over 2 years, you're spending $36,000 in rent, and you don't get to see any of that. You don't get any of it back in equity or anything like that. So that $18,700 that you make in 2 years, if you were to buy a house today, let's see what you would have to save every month in order to make that amount to have in 2 years as your down payment on that house. You're going to have to save $782 per month on top of the $1,500 you're paying in rent. You're going to have to pay that or save that $782 in order to make that $18,700 to put towards your down payment in 2 years. Not necessarily that you need that amount for a down payment, but in order to get the same amount that you would have from building equity if you were to buy a house today. So maybe you're not getting as good of a value as you could have if you would have bought a house 5 years ago, but it's kind of looking at it the same way. If you buy a house today, you're going to be building equity so that you can use that towards a nicer house in the future. Whereas if you don't buy a house today, it's going to be a lot harder to save up the same amount of money to put as a down payment on a house in the future. All right, reach out if you have any questions, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.